Here's the guide to my basses. First one up is my BC Rich Ironbird bass from 1987. Bolt-on neck. Don't know what the body wood is. This is my first bass. Bought it at Bubba Lewis Music in Valley for $200. It's got the modified pickup in it. It's a DiMarzio P bass pickup with a Seymour Duncan designed Invader clone pole pieces installed. Basically took them out of a clone humbucker with a broken coil, put 3M tape around them and stuck them in the holes where the original pole pieces were. 24 fret rock maple neck with a rosewood fretboard, pearl dot inlays, Schaller S6 tuners, the older style BC Rich headstock. I don't see too many basses like this. When I picked it out, I mainly picked it out because it really stood out on the rack amongst all the other basses. They had like a couple Fender Precisions and jazz basses, you know, the usual stuff you see, maybe a Stingray or two. This one just really stood out because it was the pointy, crazy looking one. And I sat around and played it like this for a while and had what found out was really easy to play with my arm resting on that little upper part, so I could sit around for hours and just noodle away on this. Little practice, been playing lead guitar a lot, so anyway, you know, used it on somewhere between Sleep, Dream, and Death. This is the actual bass that I used on that demo recording that I have the video of. I just used the EB because it was handy. Yeah, it's like, you know. You might recognize Drive. Next one of my favorite things to do is raid pawn shops for cheap musical instruments that have been abused. This is one of them. It's a 80s or 90s Segovia bass guitar. I have no clue who makes this brand. All I know is they're obviously cheap because they painted the back of the neck to hide what kind of wood the neck is made out of. I sold it to a coworker for a little while for him to learn bass on. He didn't like it, and then he took it to a shop and had him set it up, and they complained that the string path isn't straight. I will admit it isn't straight. Nothing I can do about that yet, as I'm waiting to replace the bridge on it, which has a seized low E string bridge saddle right here. So we'll probably never play in tune again until I'm done with it. It was tuned up a whole fifth when it was at the store, so the strings were sitting about that far off the fretboard. I'll let you see that. It's like low E string was way off the fretboard when it came home. I tuned it, took all the strings off and let the neck relax for about 2 days. Put the strings back on, and it plays pretty good. It's not perfect. It's actually kind of started to get better now all of a sudden for some reason. I think it just likes the winter weather. But it plays better now. It was pretty screwed up body-wise too. I had a sticker right here and a sticker right here. Some are pretty X-rated, so I wouldn't talk about what they were. It was pretty nasty anyway. This middle knob here was broken off. It had one chrome control knob and an empty pot shaft and a screwed up three-way switch. I mean, this bass was pretty much, well, screwed when I got it. I replaced the pots, replaced the switch after I got it back from my friend a little while later this year. There's two very cool pickups, and times I've actually toyed with just yanking the pickups and putting them in a different body. They're both humbuckers, unknown manufacturer, unknown origin. This one has a broken magnet. It still works and sounds good. Go figure. This right here actually is a pickup selector switch, which is something you don't see on basses very often. I really like the pickup selector idea because it's sort of a visual feedback as to which pickup is active. Whereas with a knob, it's almost always a mystery, and you have to go by numbers, and half the time you don't even have a little pointer to tell you what number you're on. You have to use a reference point like a screw on the pick guard, which this doesn't have, or the edge of the bridge or something like that. I never look at the numbers on my knobs anyway. I just pick them because I think they look cool. Knobs are not functional. Now the potentiometers they're attached to is a whole different deal, but play a little bit. Neck pickup only. Use it for things like radar love, you know. Other sounds I use this on a demo tune that I did when I first got the bass. I did a demo song with it. I forget what it was called. I get Silver Linings, what it was called. And it's actually on my MySpace page. You know, the bass part is. Use the middle position thing, both pickups on, use it for things like Turn Me Loose by Loverboy. Two. Bridge position kind of reminds me of Twilight Zone by Golden Earring. This one does real well on Golden Earring songs for some reason. It just really has that sound. I guess maybe it's the lo-fi cheapness of it. It kind of has that Dan Electro vibe to it that I like. You know. This next one is my 2008 EB-0. I only have a minute to finish this. Mahogany body, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, 2 on a side headstock, open gear tuners, don't stay in tune too great, short 30-inch scale, short scale bass, very thick sound. Use it for things, probably most notably on YouTube, is You Wear Those Eyes by the Cars. Center for $199 at the beginning of this year. Seen a lot of use it on some of my own demos. I've been using it with Ancient Tongues for the bass tracks. Stone Edge really likes this one. Yeah. Anyway, and that's pretty much it for all the basses I've got.